Good morning, students. And the last topic, we know clearly how the excretion is going on in human beings, kidney transplantation, and also the process of dialysis and other pathways of excretion also clearly now. Today, in this topic, how the excretion is going on primary organisms. Okay, excretion in other organisms. Excretion in other organisms. You know clearly there are primary organisms. The primary organisms like unicellular. Okay, and developed animals are called as multicellular. So here, from each and every phylum, as the phylum complexity is increases, the developmental organs or organ systems also automatically developed gradually. As the phylum level, as the phylum complexity is increases, the system, either the digestive system or excretory system or circulatory system, any kind of system is gradually developed automatically now. So how this lower order animals can manage their excretion? So for example, if you are taken for unicellular organisms, see clearly, in unicellular organisms, when we are talking about the unicellular organisms, for example, amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium. These two kinds of organisms are basically called unicellular. How these unicellular organisms can perform the excretion? See, for example, this is an amoeba. How these animals can excrete the waste materials? See, for example, this kind of animals, this kind of creatures having separate structures on the ending part of the body surface, on the margins of the body surface. These structures are commonly called as contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles. At the same time, this kind of organs are also present in the paramecium also. So, these contractile vacuoles, these can collect the waste materials from the body itself now. When all the waste materials are collected by the contractile vacuoles, they can automatically swells up and burst. These waste materials can sent out from the body to out. This is a very simple process. This process is called as osmosis. This is the process commonly called as osmosis. By the osmosis mechanism, these kind of lower order animals like unicellular one can eliminate their waste materials to body out by the contractile vacuoles itself now. Okay. So for example, and again, here also example is called as protozoa. Examples you know clearly. Amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium, they can also transport the materials by simple diffusion. Of course, here said that osmosis and here said that diffusion. So the materials are transported from the body to out, from body to here. This is commonly called as the diffusion, but the materials can automatically sent out from the here to out. That is mostly done by the process commonly called as osmosis. Mostly the diffusion and osmosis mechanisms are also useful to transport the materials clearly now. Okay. So simple diffusion through the body surface. Through body surface, they can eliminate the waste materials. Okay. Second one, porifera and cylinderates. There is no separate excretory organs present in these two kinds of phylums. There is no separate excretory organs. So, for example, porifera, sponges. Okay. Cylinderate, for example, jellyfishes. These two kinds of phylums doesn't have any particular kind of organs to excrete their waste materials. So, for example, even though excretory organs are absent clearly, they can also send out their waste materials by having the separate process that is commonly called as water bathing system. That's why water bathes almost all their cells itself now. Water bathing means here. What is the meaning of the word clearly? Bathing means self cleaning. A kind of a self cleaning mechanism also used to transport their waste materials. Of course, eliminate their waste materials. Okay. Such a kind of water bathing system is present in this particular porifera and the coelenterate. But actually there is no separate kind of organs to eliminate the waste materials. Next one, Platyhelminthes and Nematoda. Platyhelminth is also called as flatworms. Example, flatworms and planaria. Nematoda examples, roundworms. Okay, so the first of all excretory organs are started in Platyhelminthes or in the flatworm seal. So in these organisms, a separate kind of cells are commonly called as flame cells. First excretory organs means the flame cells. First excretory organ phylum is called as Platyhelminthes. Clearly, what are called flame cells here now? See clear? This is just like a small pseudopod-like structures. With that internally, there are several kinds of fibers are present. This is exactly called as the nucleus. These are just like as the pseudopodia. Okay. These are commonly called as the basal granules. Okay. This is the separate kind of a cell. This is commonly called as the flame cells. Flame cell. These kind of a flame cells are well designed to excrete the waste materials from body to out. Okay. These are called as the flame cells. First excretory organs called flame cells. Okay. Next, annelids. Example for annelida, earthworms and leeches. Okay, so these animals are soft-bodied animals with having the segments, segmented soft-bodied animals. Mostly, example is called earthworms and also the leeches also. These two animals are belongs to the phylum is called Annelida. These are have separate kind of organs called nephridia. Nephridium singular, nephridia plural. So these animals have separate segment-like structures. So for example, this is the segment here, like this. Body have separate kind of segments here, like this. So in these segments, each and every segment have separate structures. See here clearly. Okay. So the segments, each and every segment on the top part of the segment, there is having a separate pore. This is commonly called as the nephridiopore. Nephridiopore. Okay. So these are opens into nephridiostome. Nephridiostomes and nephridiopores are present. These are opens at the corner. This is commonly called as the body wall segment. This is commonly called as body wall. At the junction of the body wall, this particular nephridiopore is opens. Okay, this nephridia can collect the waste material from the body, and again, this all waste materials are collected and automatically sent out from the body to out. These structures are commonly called as nephridia. Nephridium is the singular one. Every segment has this kind of structures are called as the nephridia. Okay. Next one, arthropoda. Mostly the examples of arthropoda, all kinds of insects and also some crustaceans. So insects and crustaceans are comes under arthropoda. Do you know one more thing? The phylum Arthropoda occupies nearly 80% of the animals percentage. So for example, total animal kingdom animals is for example 100%. More than 80% of the animal percentage is occupied only with Arthropoda. Clear it is. So that's why this is also commonly called as the biggest phylum in the animal kingdom. Arthropoda is the biggest phylum in the animal kingdom. Mostly all the insects. Okay. Arthropoda here. The word arthro means joint. Poda means legs. Okay. Joint legged animals comes under this particular phylum is called as Arthropoda. Okay. So some of the crustaceans have the green glands and some all the insects, mostly all the insects having the Malpighian tubules. Okay. So the green glands also like this, a small kind of a segment like structures. Okay. This is separately commonly called as a tube-like structure and also called as the bladder here. This is a separate kind of a cell is called as the green gland, and a Malpighian tubule is a well designed structure. See clearly. So the small fission tubules are connecting with the digestive system. Small fiber-like structures, nearly 250 to more than 250 tubules are present here. This is also completely connecting with the rectum and also with the correct anus is called as. These structures are commonly called as the Malpighian tubules. All the insects, cockroaches, mostly cockroaches and all the joint-legged animals having these kind of structures. These Malpighian tubules are collects the waste materials are sent into the digestive system. This is the last part of the small intestine and opens the next part is commonly called large intestine. Colon, rectum and anus. These Malpighian tubule collects the waste materials and sent into this particular organ, and this one collects automatically and sent out through the body to out. Also connecting with the digestive system itself now. So the Malpighian tubules and green glands are separate organs which are useful in excretion in arthropoda. Okay. Next one, mollusca. Mollusca example is called snails. Mostly the animals which are having some kind of a shells. Okay. Snails have metanephridia. Okay, these are called as the nephridia. These are called nephridia, something advanced, the well-designed structure with completely sophisticated organ. With comparing the nephridia, those are called as the metanephridia. A group of nephridia, a small kind of nephridia, together called as a kidney-like organ, approximately kidney-like organs. These are commonly called as the metanephridia, are designed for the process of excretion in molluscans. Okay, next one, echinodermata, mostly starfishes. In these organisms, water vascular system means, for example, these animals are completely like this. So within the center part, there is a central canal is present. Central canal. These are called as the lateral canals. Lateral canals are present. Okay, each and every part has the tube feet. The tube feet are useful for locomotion also. These are called as the tube feet. Here also have the madreporites, which will be discussed in the intermediate syllabus also. No. Okay, this is called as the central canal. This is called as the central canal, and these are commonly called as lateral canals. These lateral canals are five lateral canals are connecting with the central canal. Okay, these canals collecting the waste materials to the anterior region. Of course, in the mid region now. Okay, this can automatically send out from the waste material to out itself now. This kind of a system is called as water vascular system. Up to the echinodermata, these are completely called as invertebrates. Whereas in the vertebrates, for example, fishes, reptiles, birds, and also the mammals, mostly all these animals have separate organs are commonly called as the kidneys. You know very well what is the clear function, what is the structure of kidneys also you know. So the kidneys are well designed organs for particular reptiles, birds, and mammals also know. These are different kinds of organs of excretion. As the phylum level is increases, okay, the excretory organ level is automatically increases now. Okay, now. So how the plants now manage their waste materials? Okay, excretion in plants. Likewise, the animals, plant doesn't have particular kind of excretory organs. With comparing animals, plant doesn't have separate kind of excretory organs, even though the plants can automatically manage their waste materials. Understand? So you know clearly, plants can perform the several kinds of mechanisms. Of course, those are commonly called as the catabolic process and anabolic process. You know clearly, anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism means the constructive process. Example is commonly called as photosynthesis. Okay. Catabolism example called as respiration. During the process of anabolism, some kinds of waste materials are produced. Okay. At the same time, in the catabolism, some kinds of waste materials are automatically produced. These two kinds of mechanisms also eliminate some kinds of waste materials. unnecessary compounds. These materials can automatically send out from the body to out. So you know clearly these structures are commonly called as stomata and lenticels. So what are called stomata and what are called lenticels? Stomatas are called as the microscopic pore-like structures which presenting on the surface of the leaves are mostly in the tender stems also. And the lenticels also a kind of a structures which mostly presenting on the part of the stem. These two structures also useful to transport, of course, eliminate their waste materials. So for example, in the during the process of photosynthesis, the gases like oxygen also a kind of a waste product. During the process of respiration, for example, carbon dioxide is a kind of a waste material. Basically, carbon dioxide is commonly called as the waste material sending out from the body to out. Whereas even in the oxygen molecules also a kind of a waste product which also produced during the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Not only these two kinds of oxygen and carbon dioxide, plants can automatically release their waste materials from body to out. Okay. That kind of one is also, so for example, leaves, bark, okay, and fruits and stem. These organs also involves a part of an excretion. So for example, when the plant leaves are dried again, the dried leaves are fall off from the plant seasonally. Okay. Sometimes some of the plants can automatically eliminate, can excrete, can eject. Okay, their part of the bark is in during the some particular seasons also. Sometimes some of the fruits can automatically fall off from the plant. Sometimes some of the stems can also release a kind of a waste leaves, I mean waste materials, just like as with the bark-like structures. These all parts also act as a excretory organs. So these materials also can automatically sent out from the body to out. Okay. So for example, seasonally leaves are shedding from the plant. Some of the plants can automatically release their, for example, guava tree, for example, mango tree, for example, several kinds of one. They can automatically eliminate their bark from seasonally. This is a kind of an excretion. Seasonally, some plants also shed their leaves. This is also a kind of an excretion. Even the plants doesn't have particular kind of an organs, these parts involved in the process of excretion. Okay, one more thing. Some kinds of plants can also store their waste materials in the fruits. Those are commonly called as rhaphides. Some kinds of plants can also release their waste materials. Okay, they can also store their waste materials in their fruits, especially in the solid bodies. In the solid bodies, they can store their waste materials. Okay, so this kind of materials can automatically shedding now. One more thing, along with these kinds of process, transpiration and guttation. Do you know clearly what is meant by transpiration? Okay, releasing of water in the form of water vapor from the plants. Releasing of water in the form of water vapor from the plants during especially sunny days when the sunshine is very high. Of course, even in the sunshine is very low, automatically they can also do the same process. But in the sunny days, they can transfer as much as more amount of water. So what is the process called guttation? Shedding of the water in the form of water molecules by the edges of their leaves. By the edges of their leaves. That is commonly called as the guttation. These two mechanisms are also a part of an excretion. Excess amount of water, already told you in the previous topic, nearly 98% of water is automatically released or eliminated from the plants by the process of transpiration. 2% of water is only utilizing by the plants itself now. Clear it is now. So these two mechanisms also useful to transport, I mean to eliminate the waste materials. So some of the plants, they can also store their waste materials in unpalatable substances. So for example, some of the plants, they can store their waste materials as a unpalatable, unpleasant materials. Unpleasant materials. These are also called as unpalatable. Unpalatable means not at all suitable for eating. Some of the plants they can store their waste materials. It might be as a nitrogenous compounds, or it might be an nitrogenous or carbon, any kind of materials. They can store in the form of a separate kind of structures. It might be in the leaves, or it might be in the stem, or it might be in the fruits also. When the herbivores absorb these kind of materials, they can automatically keep away from these particular plants. Means this kind of unpalatable and unpleasant materials, a kind of a self-defense mechanism. When the herbivores would like to eat, the animals will surely die. But herbivores they can recognize when these substances are useful or not. Plants can also use this kind of defense mechanism. Even the plants they can't move from one place to another place. They're completely stationary. That's why even the plants are stationary. They can self-defense. They can make the self-defense by keeping these kinds of materials automatically now. Okay. So for example, some of the plants have the thorns. Okay. When the herbivores would like to come, these thorns will automatically give the protection to the plants now. By making the thorns, by making the unpalatable substances, by making the toxic materials stored in their leaves or in the barks. These are all commonly called as a kind of an excretion. A kind of an excretion. They can completely keep away from the herbivores itself now. Okay. So next one, plants basically produce two kinds of materials, two kinds of products itself now. Those are basically called as primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. Do you know what is called metabolism? The activities which are important, which are very very important for survival of an organism. These are commonly called as metabolic activities or metabolic metabolism. Plants produce two kinds of metabolites. Okay, these are basically primary metabolites and secondary metabolites. See, primary metabolites, secondary metabolites. So examples for primary metabolites: carbohydrates, okay, proteins, fats. Mostly these primary metabolites are basically carbon compounds. Okay. Secondary metabolites. Example for secondary metabolites: alkaloids, tannins, resins, gums, latex. See once clearly. Find the difference between these two. During the metabolic activities of the plants, they can prepare two kinds of materials, two kinds of metabolic materials. Okay, those are commonly called as primary metabolites, and second one is called as secondary metabolites. As the primary metabolites examples like carbohydrates, proteins, and also the fats. Secondary metabolites alkaloids, tannins, resins, gums, and latex. See clearly. Whereas the primary metabolites are mostly useful for growth and development of the plant. Okay, these materials are useful for growth and development. So, for example, carbohydrates, which are mostly involved in the process of catabolism. So, for example, so during the catabolic activity, glucose molecule is break down to release energy, whereas the protein also break down to amino acids. Fats also broke down into the particular fatty acids and glycerol. These three components are commonly called as the carbon products. These are mostly involved in the growth and development of the plant. Okay. So whereas the secondary metabolites, these are not directly involved in the growth and development of the plant. These are commonly called as additional materials, excess materials, additional compounds which may stored in any part of the plant. Sometimes these materials may stored in the leaves or fruits or in the bark or in the roots, any kind of one. In any part of the plant, they may store. These are mostly either the nitrogenous compound, either the carbon compound, either any kind of the compound itself. No, mostly all these primary metabolites are completely carbon compounds, carbon materials, basically. Now, okay. So, for example, alkaloids, tannins, resins, gums, and also the latex. So basically, alkaloids are commonly called as the nitrogenous compounds. Okay, tannins are basically called as carbon compounds. What are the uses of these materials? One more thing, I would like to say once again, these materials are not directly involved in the growth and development. These are useful for several kinds of purposes, either for the plant or either for the human being also. But actually, these materials are not prepared for the human being. These are prepared for the plant as for their excretory product, as for excretory material. But these materials are indirectly used by the human being itself now. Sometimes these materials may also causes toxic, dangerous, toxic materials might be as a human being also too. Okay. So what are the remaining materials of alkaloids, the tannins and resins, gums and latex? We will discuss later coming for the coming topic. Okay. Thank you.